Thank you again for joining me in the studio. We have a wonderful family from the Alle Project. We have Kim Collazo, Angelo Collazo, and their beautiful daughter, Alle. How are you guys?
Very good.
Doing
How
good.
are you, Alle?
Very good.
Yeah, you're very good. How old are you?
4.
You're 4. You just turned 4. You had to think about that for a second, huh?
Yes, I am 4.
So cute. And who are we going to talk about today?
My big sister, Alle Project.
Yes, we are going to talk about the Alle Project. And your parents are so wonderful to create noise about this, aren't they?
Yeah.
Angelo, you were in not too long ago talking about this. And Kim, thank you so much for joining us this time around. Let's talk about Alle. Just in case if somebody didn't catch the program last time, can we get to know her story and the effort?
My sissy, we wrote about my sister in the family book, and she's up in heaven, and she loves me very much.
She does love you very much.
So with Alle lived a miraculous 5 weeks at the NICU at Strong. There's amazing nurses and doctors and everybody there. At the time, we did not know.
At the time, we didn't know.
We didn't know that she had OI until she was born.
Now, what is OI?
All right. OI is Osteogenesis Imperfecta. It's otherwise known as brittle bones. And the easiest ways to describe it would be her bones were like chalk.
Oh, wow.
And when we saw x-rays of Alle's, they weren't black and white on the x-rays. It was more a muted gray because that's how fragile and brittle her bones were. They didn't come on the x-ray as being white.
Now, during pregnancy, did they see this in advance? Like, okay, Kim, Angelo, there's something different that looks here in the ultrasound? Or no, you didn't even know until the day she was born?
We didn't know till the day she was born, and doctors didn't know either. The only thing they saw that her arms and legs were shorter than they should have been. They were 4 weeks behind the rest of her growth of her body. And Kim kept going every 2 weeks for ultrasounds, and every 2 weeks when she saw another doctor, every doctor was throwing out this syndrome, this disease, this disorder, but OI was never ever mentioned, or even in the afterthought, they had no clue whatsoever.
I can't even imagine during pregnancy. You're already going through so much, so many emotions, hormonally, and just the emotions that go around a pregnancy and the excitement, and to have that question mark.
Right. Well, I know they say ignorance is bliss. I think it was a blessing that it was our first pregnancy. So a lot of the things I didn't realize weren't normal. We wound up doing ultrasounds every 2 weeks. And every time they did an ultrasound, they did what they call NST tests and all these things. We actually have almost a whole baby book of different ultrasound pictures. Wow. Now, not many people have that. I mean, afterwards, we know that wasn't normal. But for me, being our first pregnancy, being older, as they say, that was kind of good that we were clueless.
And now you're not clueless anymore.
No.
Now you know everything in and out about OI. And Angelo, I think last time when we were talking about this, you felt at one point that you were the only ones dealing with this. And now that you're going out and speaking freely about it and open about it, you are running into so many people who have been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we ran into a lot of people. I still remember the very first walk we did 3 months after Alle passed away. A gentleman saw our first TV interview, and he called. He looked up in the phone book, and he called us and thanked us for doing this because his family has a strong history of OI, and he never knew the OI Foundation existed. And he said, thank you for doing this because nobody ever says anything about OI. And I believe that we're like the only in all of Central New York and maybe all of New York State, where their only awareness, constant awareness. I mean, I've heard of other people doing like little fundraisers at a school or something for their family, but as going out and talking and doing what we do all the time, we're their only awareness in all of New York for that. A lot of people have their kids taken away because they misdiagnosed, they don't know they have OI. His family, I believe, talking to his brother, said that they were taken away from his parents because they didn't know they had OI.
Really? Okay, now let's get into that a little bit because I know we did talk a lot about it last time, but to just bring that back up, because OI isn't the very first thing doctors look at, right?
No.
So,
it can only be diagnosed, 5 years ago, it could not be true now, through a specific blood test. So actually that took 8 weeks to get back. I mean, she was born, they knew she was just born, so we hadn't done anything, but she had multiple fractures in utero that they could see on the x-ray. She had a blue tint to the whites of her eyes. Those are all signs of OI. With Ella, we could have had her tested before she was born, but to the tune of $8,000. And for us, we just wanted a baby. We didn't matter to us if everything was perfect or there were things that we would need to work through.
And Ella, did she have OI or is she?
Do you have OI?
Yeah, I do.
No,
You
no,
don't.
you don't.
Sissy had it, right? You're the opposite of your sister, right?
In OI, is there different degrees and levels of OI? So your daughter, Alle Shay, had the more severe case of it?
Yes, she had type 2, which is the most severe. And once babies are diagnosed with type 2, their life expectancy, it could be minutes, hours, days, weeks, or whatever, in utero, out utero, when they're born. But sometimes it's not the case. There's a couple stories when we went down to the OI Foundation's national conference a couple years ago. We met a young lady who was told to abort because they found that the baby had OI. And thank God she didn't, because the baby was born. The baby has OI, but the baby's healthy, as can be. And I think there was another lady at the last conference. They saw the doctor that told them to abort, and they were like, wanted to show the baby off. Like, see, we have a baby.
So this is the one frustration that you do have.
Right.
That a lot of cases are misdiagnosed. A lot of children are born healthy, but then they deal with a lot of fractures. And like you said, sometimes it raises the red flag of what are you doing at home behind closed doors?
Right,
because it's alarming that your child is always in the hospital for fractured bones. And it's not the case of bad parenting. It's the case of OI.
Right.
So that's what your number one goal is right now, right? Is to create awareness about this.
Yeah, and it's awfully hard to try to talk to the hospitals, try to get them in. I mean, some of them are great to try to help you, but then it's like, it's so rare, and I was like, so at least if a kid comes in every once in a while with bruises or unexplained fractures, don't automatically assume it's child abuse. Do the test. See if it's OI. Since the last time I was here on the OI group, there was a lady who lost her child to the Child Protective Services because they think, the baby was had a fracture femur or something like that, if I remember correctly.
On the surface, it appears this is a dangerous situation. Okay.
So they had to, and she's trying to get her child back. And then once it came out to OI, they think it's OI, and she's trying to call the Child Protective Services and trying to get a lawyer that knows something about OI.
Oh my God.
And in the meantime, the baby was still fracturing because the foster people, they're doing everything right. Like I said before, you do everything right, but you don't know the child is that fragile, and the child is still fracturing.
When you say fragile, and I know you said it ranges, there's a range of severity of OI. Is it the slightest wrong move of your arm can fracture a bone? Is
Could
it
be
that delicate?
anything. Could be even a sneeze, a cough.
Oh.
With Alle, she had
Give it to her later, honey.
a couple fractures just from the delivery itself,
Oh.
from picking her up after the C-section. So she had a fresh one in one of her arms and then also in one of her legs.
Okay.
And then she had the ones that had healed in utero. So
When we saw the x-rays, she had broken ribs, and there was one incident where Kim actually fell. She's a teacher. She fell at school, and we think part of the fractures happened when she fell. So, and that's another thing. It's like, I say it's mental torture for people. If, my wife, she will never forgive herself for that,
Yeah.
once she found out the baby had OI. And the doctors, when we went to the emergency room, they're like, oh no, there's no way a baby could fracture, because they don't know, so
Yeah.
it's like, we believe them. And then, like I said before, on one of the ultrasounds, Kim questioned the doctor to look like her leg was broken, and the doctor said, no, it's just a shadow on the ultrasound. It was like, it looked broken. I mean, it looked like it was crossed. It looked like an X.
Is it that rare? I mean, what is the percentage of people, do we even know in Rochester that?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure about Rochester alone, but I know nationwide.
It's like in America alone, it's between 20 and 50,000 people are diagnosed with OI. And I think it's like every one in, when I saw the stat, like 1 in 200,000 people may be born with OI.
Okay.
And like there's like 9 different levels, but there's like 4 main levels: 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 2 and 4 are normally the worst.
Is it typically a hereditary?
Yes, it is. It can be carried on heretically if genetic. If Alle had survived and had children, her children would have had a 50% chance of having it.
Okay. But in your case, though, neither of you.
Yeah, in our
carry the
case,
gene.
it was just a mutation in her genes. So just a freak mutation, one, and you would have better chances of winning the lottery, we were told, and of that happening again. But it obviously happened once.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the OI Foundation, would you call it a rare bone disease? What is it categorized as?
It's categorized as a disease, but when I talk, I like to say a disorder, because when people hear the word disease, they back away. They automatically, they automatically assume you say anything,
Contagious.
Disease. That's what your mindset is trained for.
Yeah.
You hear disease, you think the worst.
So OI, the rare bone disorder, and the OI Foundation, is that a local foundation? Is that nationally? And what does the foundation do?
It's a national foundation out of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Okay.
They do grants to help people with OI, families with OI. They also help aid in research. They have a medical board. They're very small. I think there's like 7 or 8 people in the office. The CEO actually of the OI Foundation is from Churchville Chile here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's very, very nice. And her name is Tracy Hart.
It's a foundation that needs to grow, that has room to grow, but we need more people to understand and be aware of.
Yes.
They've come a long way in the 5 years that we've known about them. There's many more doctors that are working more closely with them. There's a couple companies that are trying to, work for solutions or ways to help. Alle had a treatment of, it's called PAM, where if she lived, she would have had to have an infusion every 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And in the OI community, they call it their bone juice. So kids, that have this treatment, it's helped so far. Yeah. It might help limit some breaks. Might make it not as severe, but it's definitely not the cure that everybody is looking for.
So what we need from everyone is just awareness and knowledge about this and spread the word about it. But if you yourself are thinking, wait a minute, this sounds like a familiar story, how can we reach out to you guys?
We have many avenues for social media. We have a Facebook page, and you can just look up the Alle Shea Project. We have an email, which is allesheaproject@gmail.com, which is ALLESHEAPROJECT. Because we spell Alle, ALLE, which is a combination of my wife's mother's first name, first 2 letters, and my mother's middle name, first 2 letters. So Alle.
Of course.
And we also have a Twitter account, which is Alle Shea Project. So you can always email us. Like I said, we're our Facebook page. I'm striving to get like 1,000 followers right now. I think we're at like 701.
Okay, we'll get it.
I'm trying to get that there.
After this interview, you got it. I can feel it.
And we have a website too, which is allesheaproject.org. And there you will find information about, our little story about Alle. It's always about Alle. It's not always about us. I always say it's about Alle. And there you'll find the other events that we do. We always do, on her birthday, April 14th, we do a Pizza Uno night to celebrate her birthday. And then we used to do walks, but now we switched over to, it was very successful last year, dessert karaoke dance night.
Nice.
And we're probably going to do that one next October.
Okay, so April and October. And if there's any way that you can help, reach out to them, please, and spread the word. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming in and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey, for coming in.
Thank you.